Despite this being one of the worst performing years for cryptocurrencies, the crypto market has already raised over $30.3 billion this year alone. Now today I want to show you exactly where all of this money is flowing into so we can see where the big money wants to push the crypto industry as we enter into the next bull run. Now on top of this, BlackRock just announced that they are going to be partnering with Coinbase so that they can offer cryptocurrency for all of their institutional investors. Now, if you're not familiar, BlackRock is a financial giant and they have over $10 trillion in assets under management, which is a wild thing to think about when you look at the crypto market, and the entire cryptocurrency market is only worth $1 trillion. So when I say that they are a financial giant, they are seriously, all of their assets under management equal 10 cryptocurrency market caps combined. So again, I want to talk about everything that's happening in the crypto market here, and as I promised earlier, we're going to be looking at exactly where all of this billions and billions and billions of dollars has gone into the world of cryptocurrency. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Brendan, and we make videos like this one every single week, about twice a week. So if you're new here, welcome to the journey, and if you're a reoccurring member, it's great to have you as well. So as we get into this actually all sparked from a guy that we had on the Crypt Nation videos not too long ago. So if you are a part of Crypt Nation, I have a link to that in the description down below. But this is going to be a familiar face for you as a VIP, because a lot of this stems from Mr. Dunleavy. He's a very, very smart guy. He's part of the Masari team, which enables pretty much everyone to research cryptocurrency and on-chain metrics. But in this study, or in the research that they have done over there, he talks about how the cryptocurrency fundraising has already reached $30.3 billion this year alone, like start to date. And the reason that this is significant is because this has already outpaced what last year has done, despite 2021 being one of the greatest bull markets in crypto history. And this is a very, very important topic because I've mentioned this before, but so much fundamental and infrastructure growth happens in these bear markets that people don't see. And this is a really good metric to help us really kind of realize that. And so last year, over the course of all of 2021, we saw $30.2 billion flow into cryptocurrency funding. And right now, we're not even 3/4 of the way through the year, and we've already seen $30.3 billion flow into crypto funding. And so we're going to break down all of these, I guess, all of the funding and all of the metrics and everything that Dunleavy has to say here. But this is some pretty cool stuff. So when we're looking at NFTs, the large amount of funding that's flowing into NFTs is actually going into gaming. Now, when it comes to gaming, people don't realize how big this industry is. Esports alone, which is just the competitive aspect of gaming where people compete, just like soccer teams have the MLS and things of that nature. The esports part of gaming alone is actually bringing in more viewers than the NBA, NHL, MLB, and MLS, only losing to the NFL. And so when we're talking about how big gaming is, if it's able to have more viewers than the MLB and the NBA, it's a pretty lucrative industry because that many viewers tends to generate a lot of revenue because for the most part, the more viewers that you're able to bring in, the more money that an industry is able to create for itself through advertising and other means. And so when we're looking at this, gaming is a massive industry and there's a clear push that big money wants to go into gaming and try to penetrate it. And when we're talking about gaming soaking up most of NFT's funding, this isn't too shocking. There is a pretty large and existing world for the typical JPEG NFTs, like we see on OpenSea and LooksRare and a lot of these other platforms, or I think Rareable's another one. But there are, I guess there's really a lack. Stuttering over my words, but there's a lack of presence in the crypto gaming space in comparison to how large it is. And so if we're getting into some of the other metrics, we can see that there has been $35.9 billion raised, 151 rounds, 116 of which were crypto funds, 35 of which were traditional funds. And on the raising side, 25.9 billion funds go to crypto, and around 10 billion of those are going towards traditional funds. Now in this chart, we can kind of see the different breakdown between how assets are getting divvied up in CeFi, which stands for centralized finance, as opposed to DeFi, which is also talked about in this study as well. But if you want to learn more about all of these metrics that we have talked about, breaking down NFTs and DeFi and CeFi and everything else that's happening in the world of financial investing, especially when it comes to crypto, check out Dunleavy on Twitter. He's a great guy. These are all his posts, so props to him. And I have his tag up here over on the right side. But I want to get into how big BlackRock investing into crypto is, because as I mentioned earlier, they have nearly $10 trillion in assets under management. I believe the last time I looked, they had $9.6 or $9.7 trillion in assets under management, which is wild when you consider that the cryptocurrency market cap right now is about $1 trillion. So if they wanted to allocate everything, they could nearly buy the crypto market 10 times over. That is every single project, every single cryptocurrency, nearly 10 times over. And so with them partnering with Coinbase through Coinbase Prime, they are going to allow direct access to cryptocurrencies, which means that there is the possible exposure of trillions of dollars. Now, is BlackRock going to allocate trillions of their $10 trillion? Most likely not. I don't see that as a likely scenario, but it's very possible that there are hundreds of billions of dollars that could be sitting on the sidelines that now have an easy and direct access to cryptocurrency that they feel safe with and that they are familiar with. So this is huge. It's a very, very big thing. If this kind of news would have happened in like 2017, 2018, when I feel like people were really, really going nuts for this kind of news, the market would have absolutely freaked out. And we're seeing some good price action on Bitcoin from both of these articles getting released, but nothing too crazy. I mean, Bitcoin's up 2.5% almost on the day. So not the wild reaction that you would think to expect. Although I think that this is more of a long-term play rather than anything else. Now, in not so good news, Robinhood has announced that they are cutting about 23% of their jobs after their second quarter earnings. Now, this comes just after Robinhood got fined about $30 million for their crypto department, which for Robinhood, $30 million isn't a lot, but it's certainly not a little. So following their fine of $30 million, and their second quarter earnings, they're firing nearly a quarter of the company, which is a lot, to say the least. And unfortunately, a lot of tech companies are having to do this right now. You don't like to see it, but it's happening. Now, we'll just hammer out all the bad news. But Justin Sun has announced that Poloniex will support Ethereum's proof of work fork. So when the Ethereum 2.0 merge happens and Ethereum is essentially split into two different coins, you're going to have the mineable Ethereum and then you're going to have Ethereum 2.0. Ethereum 2.0 is what pretty much everyone is going to be using moving forward, but all the miners, I would imagine, are going to want to be a part of this fork. I think it's going to be one of those rug pulls where as soon as it gets released and as soon as this fork is supported and the tokens are handed out, I think all of the forked tokens are going to go and just see a massive crash. And I think Ethereum 2.0 is going to hold true because that's going to be the new standard for Ethereum. The old version of Ethereum that is supported here on the fork, it's not going to be the real Ethereum. Vitalik has made it very clear that Ethereum 2 is going to be the new standard of Ethereum. And, just be careful with this kind of thing. Poloniex has kind of gone to crap ever since it was taken over. Their volume says everything that you need to know about them. So if you want to look at their liquidity and volume, it is nothing to brag about. So be careful with that one. But in, I guess, terms of good news, the bankrupt crypto brokerage Voyager has approved to return $270 million to clients. Now, with Voyager being one of the exchanges to declare bankruptcy this year, the big question was, are they going to be able to return users' funds? Now, we're not sure if this $270 million to clients is going to be 50 cents on the dollar or 30 cents on the dollar or even 70 cents on the dollar. And we're still not entirely sure who exactly qualifies for this. But they are going to be at least giving back some portion of people's money that have not been able to withdraw their funds and that were unfortunately just kind of a victim of what transpired on the Voyager exchange as it went through bankruptcy. So overall, a lot of really positive news coming out for the world of cryptocurrency. With Ethereum 2.0 getting closer, these metrics released by Dunleavy looking phenomenal for crypto. There is so much happening behind the scenes that people are not aware of. On top of the BlackRock news, it's hard to not be excited about what's happening in crypto right now. And for all the people that thought crypto was going to go to zero, Dunleavy makes a very clear remark in saying the trend is not slowing down, it's accelerating. Not only are we holding an equal level, the trend has rapidly accelerated by almost 25%. So the amount of institutional investing that's still happening here, what took us 4 quarters last year, took us 3 quarters this year. So it's not going anywhere. It's clearly not slowing down. And even though we're technically in a recession right now, funding isn't stopping. Big money is still very comfortable saying that this is going to play a huge part in the future. And if they didn't believe that, they wouldn't be investing this much. And I think that the concept is that simple. But that's going to round us up for this video, everyone. I hope you all did enjoy. If you did like this content, again, we make videos like this every single week, about 2 to 3 times a week. So if you enjoyed this, consider hitting the like and subscribe button, as it does help out the channel a lot. But until next time, everyone, I'll see you in next week's video.